Hello. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite desserts, and that is rice pudding. Now, when I started researching the origins of rice pudding, every source I found just said it was universal, global, worldly. All sources agree that at some point, every single culture has made some form of rice pudding. Now, one of the reasons for that is most people have the ingredients on hand. It's rice, milk, sugar, egg, vanilla. Now, this is a very popular diner staple. Pretty much all restaurants have those ingredients. It's quick to make and it's inexpensive. And it's amazing that it doesn't take much effort to make something so deliciously tasty. Since I always have rice pudding in a diner, I decided to look at where diners came from. They started in Providence, Rhode Island in 1872. Walter Scott had a horse-drawn wagon. He realized that people who worked late night shifts or people who were at work super early in the morning, like journalists, they needed to have access to food. So he brought his horse-drawn wagon up to the Providence Journal and he sold food directly out of his wagon. Patrons bought their food and then ate on the curb. Now you're probably wondering how that takes us to diners. Bear with me, I'm getting to that part of the story. As these wagons started becoming more prevalent, people realized that there was a need for seating. So they made the wagons bigger and put a short row of seats, usually along a counter, inside. These rolling restaurants soon became known as lunch wagons. Eventually, people started referring to them as lunch cars, and then they kind of got all hoity-toity, and they started calling them dining cars, and then it was shortened to diner. Out of all of this came a design of a dining wagon or a dining car. People would order these prefab dining establishments that at first could be moved and then became stationary. And that's the difference between, at least back then, a diner and a coffee shop. A coffee shop was a standalone business in a building that either they built or already existed, whereas the diners were actual prefab buildings that would be brought in and set down. Now, of course, diners, coffee shops, they're pretty much synonymous for each other. So in honor of Walter Scott hometown, today's travel inspiration is going to be Providence, Rhode Island.